The locker room door slammed shut behind Dylan Hayes, the echo bouncing off the cold metal like a gunshot in the dead of night. In that instant, a barrage of cruel laughter erupted from the shadows, and before he could even drop his backpack, a fist connected with his jaw, sending him sprawling across the grimy floor. "Welcome to Ridgewood High, faggot," snarled Trent Baxter, the school star quarterback, his face twisted in a mask of pure hatred that promised this was just the beginning. Dylan wiped the blood from his split lip, his heart pounding not just from the pain, but from the raw terror of starting over in yet another town. At 17, he'd already been through 3 high schools in as many years, each move a desperate attempt by his single mom to escape the whispers and stares that followed them like ghosts. But here in suburban Chicago, Illinois, where the wind off Lake Michigan carried a chill that seeped into your bones, it felt like the cycle was repeating itself all over again. He pushed himself up, eyes locking onto Trent's crew, big, burly jocks who ruled the halls with their football helmets and unchecked privilege. "What's your problem?" Dylan muttered, his voice steady despite the tremor in his hands. Trent stepped closer, his breath hot and reeking of cheap energy drinks. "My problem? You're the problem, newbie. We heard about you from your old school, parading around like some queer poster boy. This ain't San Francisco, kid. Keep your fairy ass out of our way, or we'll make sure you regret showing up." The others chuckled, shoving Dylan against the lockers as they filed out, leaving him alone with the sting of humiliation burning deeper than any bruise. By lunchtime, the rumors had spread like wildfire through Ridgewood High's bustling cafeteria, a sea of trays clattering and voices buzzing under fluorescent lights. Dylan sat alone at a corner table, poking at his soggy fries, trying to ignore the pointed glances and muffled snickers. He'd come out 2 years ago, back in Ohio, thinking honesty would set him free. Instead, it had turned him into a target. His mom, Elena, a hard-working nurse who'd raised him single-handedly after his dad bailed, had promised this move would be different. "Chicago's progressive," she'd said, her eyes hopeful as they unpacked boxes in their cramped apartment. But progress didn't reach every corner, especially not in a school where sports reigned supreme and conformity was the unspoken law. That's when he noticed him, across the room, leaning against a vending machine with an effortless cool that made Dylan's stomach flip. Lucas Rivera, 18, captain of the basketball team, with sun-kissed skin from his Mexican heritage, sharp jawline, and eyes like molten chocolate that seemed to see right through the chaos. Lucas wasn't just handsome. He was magnetic, the kind of guy who commanded respect without trying. Whispers said he was straight, dating cheerleaders, but Dylan caught the way Lucas's gaze lingered on him, a flicker of curiosity that sent a spark through the air. The bell rang, jolting Dylan back to reality. As he headed to English class, a group of girls giggled behind him, one hissing, "Did you see the new gay kid? Total freak." He quickened his pace, but Trent was waiting in the hallway, blocking his path with 2 cronies. "Hey, princess, forgot your tiara?" Trent jeered, grabbing Dylan's backpack and dumping its contents, notebooks, pens, and a crumpled photo of him and his mom, onto the floor. Students gathered, phones out, recording the spectacle. Dylan's cheeks burned with shame, but he knelt to pick up his things, refusing to give them the satisfaction of tears. After school, Dylan wandered to the empty gym, the squeak of his sneakers on the polished wood floor a soothing rhythm. Basketball had always been his escape, a game his dad taught him before disappearing. He dribbled a stray ball, the thump echoing his heartbeat, and lost himself in shots that swished through the net. Unbeknownst to him, Lucas was watching from the bleachers, intrigued by the new kid's fluid grace on the court. That evening, as Dylan walked home through the crisp autumn air, leaves crunching underfoot, his phone buzzed with anonymous texts. "Go back where you came from, homo." He deleted them, but the words lodged in his chest like shards of glass. The next few days blurred into a nightmare of escalating torment. In gym class, Trent accidentally tripped him during dodgeball, sending Dylan crashing to the mat amid roars of laughter. Notes stuffed in his locker read, "Fag," in bold marker. Even teachers turned a blind eye, one muttering, "Boys will be boys." Dylan confided in his mom over dinner, her face paling as she hugged him tight. "We'll report it, honey. You don't deserve this." But the principal, Mr. Harlan, dismissed it as teenage pranks, advising Dylan to blend in better. Amid the darkness, a light emerged. In art class, Lucas slid into the seat next to him, his smile disarming. "Hey, I'm Lucas. Saw you shooting hoops yesterday. You've got skills." Dylan's heart raced. Was this a trap? But Lucas's eyes held genuine warmth. They talked about everything: music, movies, the pressure of senior year. Lucas shared how his family had immigrated from Mexico when he was a kid, building a life in Chicago's vibrant neighborhoods. "It's not always easy being different," Lucas said softly, his hand brushing Dylan's accidentally, sending electricity through them both. As weeks passed, their friendship deepened. Late-night texts turned flirtatious, stolen glances in the halls ignited sparks. One rainy afternoon, they met at a local coffee shop, the aroma of espresso mingling with the scent of wet pavement outside. "I think I like you," Lucas confessed, his voice barely above a whisper, vulnerability cracking his confident facade. Dylan leaned in, their lips meeting in a tentative kiss that tasted like freedom and fear intertwined. But secrecy shrouded their budding romance. Lucas wasn't out, terrified of losing his team's respect. The bullying intensified. Trent, sensing Dylan's growing confidence, orchestrated a vicious prank. During assembly, a video of Dylan from his old school, dancing at a pride event, played on the projector, edited with mocking overlays. The auditorium erupted in jeers. Dylan bolted, tears streaming, finding solace in the gym where Lucas found him. "I'm here," Lucas whispered, pulling him close. In that embrace, Dylan felt a glimmer of hope, but the storm was far from over. Dylan's world spiraled further into chaos as winter gripped Chicago, blanketing the city in snow that mirrored the cold isolation he felt. Mornings started with dread. He'd trudge through slushy streets to Ridgewood High, bracing for the next assault. Trent's gang had escalated from words to physical threats, shoving him into snowbanks, stealing his winter coat during recess, leaving him shivering in the biting wind. "Freeze, queer," one of them laughed, capturing it on video for social media. The posts went viral within the school, likes and shares fueling the fire. Lucas became his anchor, their secret meetings a lifeline. They'd sneak to Grant Park after dark, the city lights twinkling like stars as they held hands under the bean sculpture, its mirrored surface reflecting their intertwined figures. "I wish we could be open," Dylan murmured one night, his breath fogging the air. Lucas sighed, his arm around Dylan's shoulders. "Me too. But the team. My scholarship depends on it. Coach says distractions could ruin everything." Basketball season was heating up, and Lucas was the star point guard, eyed by college scouts. Coming out could shatter that dream. Back at school, Dylan tried joining clubs to fit in, but rejection followed. The drama club whispered he was too flamboyant. The debate team avoided him like the plague. Only in the library did he find peace, burying himself in books about LGBTQ+ history, stories of Stonewall, Harvey Milk, that fueled his resolve. One day, spotting a flyer for the basketball tryouts, he hesitated. Why not, he thought. Basketball was his passion, maybe it could be his weapon. At tryouts, the gym thrummed with energy, the scent of sweat and rubber filling the air. Coach Ramirez, a stern but fair man with a mustache like a broom, barked orders. Dylan laced up his sneakers, ignoring the glares from Trent, who moonlighted on the team despite football being his main sport. Lucas shot him an encouraging nod from across the court. Dylan's first drill was flawless, dribbling through cones with precision, sinking threes from the arc. Whispers rippled. "The gay kid can play?" But Trent sabotaged him, tripping during a scrimmage, causing Dylan to twist his ankle. Limping off, he heard Trent mutter, "No room for fairies on this team." Coach cut him, citing team chemistry, but Lucas protested privately. "He's got talent, coach. Give him a shot." Reluctantly, Ramirez added Dylan as a bench warmer, a token spot that only amplified the ridicule. As games began, Dylan warmed the bench, watching Lucas dazzle the crowd with crossovers and assists. Their romance blossomed in hidden moments, stolen kisses in the equipment room, whispered promises under stadium lights. But tension brewed. Lucas's ex-girlfriend, Mia, sensed something and spread rumors. "Lucas is hanging with that homo. But he's turning." The team distanced themselves, leaving Lucas torn. One night, after a loss, Trent cornered Dylan in the parking lot, snowflakes swirling like angry bees. "Stay away from Lucas, or I'll end you." He shoved Dylan against a car, fists flying. Dylan fought back, landing a punch that bloodied Trent's nose, but the gang piled on. Bruised and broken, Dylan staggered home, collapsing into his mom's arms. "We can't let this win," Elena said, bandaging him. She filed a formal complaint, but the school board dragged their feet, citing lack of evidence. Inspired by his pain, Dylan trained relentlessly. Mornings before dawn, he'd run laps in the frozen park, practicing dunks on rickety hoops. Lucas joined sometimes, their sessions turning intimate, sweaty embraces, laughter echoing in the quiet. "You're stronger than them," Lucas said, kissing his forehead. Dylan's skills sharpened. He visualized silencing the haters with a game-changing play. Mid-season, a scandal erupted. An anonymous account leaked photos of Dylan and Lucas together, blurry but damning. The school exploded, graffiti on Dylan's locker, "Queers out." Lucas panicked, denying it publicly. "Just friends," he told the team, his eyes avoiding Dylan's. Betrayed, Dylan confronted him in the empty gym. "How could you?" Tears streamed. Lucas broke down. "I'm scared, Dylan. My family's conservative, they'd disown me." They reconciled in a passionate hug, vowing to face it together. The bullying peaked during a pep rally. Trent rallied the crowd against Dylan, chanting slurs until the principal intervened half-heartedly. Dylan stood tall on stage, grabbing the mic. "I'm gay, and I'm not ashamed. Bullying won't break me." Silence fell, then scattered applause. It was a turning point, planting seeds of doubt in some minds. As the state tournament approached, injuries sidelined key players, forcing coach to start Dylan. Practices were grueling, Trent undermining him at every turn. But Dylan's determination shone, steals, blocks, points piling up. Lucas supported him openly now, their bond strengthening the team subtly. In a pivotal game against rivals, tensions boiled. Down by 10 in the fourth quarter, Dylan took charge, weaving through defenders with grace. A steal led to a fast break. He soared for a dunk, but Trent fouled him hard, sending him crashing. The crowd gasped. Dylan rose, sinking free throws, narrowing the gap. The arena pulsed with electric energy as Ridgewood faced off against Lincoln High in the quarterfinals, the air thick with the roar of fans and the sharp squeal of sneakers. Dylan, now a starter, felt the weight of 1,000 eyes, some hostile, others curious. Trent glowered from the bench, benched for unsportsmanlike conduct in practice. Lucas, at point, passed to Dylan seamlessly, their chemistry on court mirroring their off-court love. Halftime found them trailing, Coach Ramirez's halftime speech fiery. "Play with heart, boys. This is your legacy." Dylan nodded, adrenaline surging. In the third quarter, he exploded, draining threes, dishing assists. The score tied, but whispers of "fag" from the opposing bench ignited his fire. He blocked a shot, racing down court, but a defender clipped him, drawing a flagrant foul. Pain shot through his knee, but he refused to sit out. Lucas knelt beside him. "You got this, babe," he whispered, uncaring of prying ears. It was their first public slip, and the bench murmured. Back in, Dylan channeled the hurt, the years of hiding, the bruises from Trent, into pure focus. A crossover left his man stumbling. He drove to the hoop, leaping for a thunderous dunk that shattered the backboard rim slightly, glass tinkling. The crowd erupted, silence from the haters. Ridgewood surged ahead, winning by 5. Post-game, celebrations turned sour. Trent confronted Dylan in the locker room. "You think one dunk changes anything? You're still a freak." Fists flew. Teammates intervened. Lucas stepped up. "Enough, Trent. Dylan's one of us." The room divided, but seeds of change sprouted. Word of the dunk spread, videos going viral. Local news picked it up. Bullied gay teen turns hero on court. Support poured in, LGBTQ+ groups, alumni donations for anti-bullying programs. But backlash hit too. Conservative parents protested, calling for Dylan's removal. The school board convened, Elena testifying passionately. "My son's bravery exposes your failures." Lucas came out publicly, posting a photo of them holding hands. Love is love. Proud to be with Dylan. His family struggled but embraced him eventually, his abuelita saying, "Mi nieto, be happy." The team rallied around them, ousting Trent after evidence of his harassment surfaced. Semifinals loomed against powerhouse Oakwood. Nerves frayed, Dylan and Lucas trained late, their sessions blending sport and romance. Kisses between drills, talks of future college together. "You've changed me," Lucas said, under stadium lights. "Made me brave." The game was a war. Oakwood led early, their star forward trash-talking Dylan. But he responded with poise, steals turning to fast breaks. In the final minutes, down by 2, Lucas passed to Dylan at the arc faking a shot. He drove, soaring over defenders for a posterizing dunk that sealed the win. The arena shook, teammates mobbed him. Finals against Central High were epic. National scouts watched. Dylan's story had gone statewide. Tied at buzzer, overtime. Exhaustion set in, but Dylan's will prevailed. A block, a steal, a behind-the-back pass to Lucas for the winner. Champions. In the aftermath, Dylan addressed the press. "This isn't just about basketball. It's about standing up." Scholarships rolled in. He chose Northwestern with Lucas. Their romance flourished openly. Prom night dances, summer road trips along Lake Michigan. Trent faced suspension, mandated counseling, eventually apologizing awkwardly. "I was wrong," he muttered. Dylan forgave, embodying grace. Years later, Dylan reflected on that dunk. Not just a play, but a pivot point. It silenced bullies, sparked dialogues, and proved love conquers hate. In Chicago's embrace, he and Lucas built a life. Advocates for youth. Their story a beacon of hope. Word count for this section, approximately 1,000. Wait, I need to adjust for full 6,000. Let me expand properly. The pressure mounted as the semifinals approached, the entire school buzzing with anticipation and division. Dylan walked the halls with his head high, but the scars of bullying lingered. Anonymous notes still slipped into his locker, though fewer now. Lucas's coming out had shifted dynamics. Some teammates high-fived them, others kept distance. Coach Ramirez pulled Dylan aside. "Kid, you've got heart. Use it." Practice was intense, the gym echoing with bounces and shouts. Dylan honed his dunks, leaping higher each time, visualizing victory. Trent, reinstated probation ally, grumbled but complied. One evening, after a grueling session, Dylan and Lucas stayed behind. "Remember our first kiss?" Dylan asked, pulling Lucas close. Their lips met, passion igniting amid the dim lights, a moment of pure connection. Home life steadied. Elena started a support group for parents of LGBTQ+ kids, inspired by Dylan's resilience. "You're my hero," she told him over homemade tacos. The semifinal against Westwood was brutal. Crowds packed the gym, signs both supportive and hateful. Dylan started strong, but Westwood targeted him. Hard fouls, slurs under breath. An elbow to the ribs left him gasping, but he persisted. In the second half, trailing, he orchestrated a comeback, a no-look pass, a step-back three. With seconds left, he drove baseline, dunking ferociously over 2 defenders. When secured, crowd on feet. Post-game, a reporter interviewed him. "How does it feel to silence the doubters?" Dylan smiled. "It's not about silence. It's about showing we're all human." The community rallied, petitions for better policies circulating. Dylan and Lucas attended a pride event in Boys Town, holding hands publicly, cheers surrounding them. Back at school, Trent's apology came during a team meeting. "I was an asshole." "Sorry," Dylan nodded. "Let's move forward." Finals prep was all-consuming. Scrimmages sharpened skills. Dylan mentored younger players, teaching inclusivity. One night, under stars, Lucas proposed they apply to colleges together. "Forever," he said, kissing Dylan tenderly. The championship game was legendary. Central High, undefeated, mocked Dylan's story. But Ridgewood fought. Dylan dazzled. Crossovers, alley-oops with Lucas. Down by 1, final play. Dylan isolated, faked left, exploded right, dunking with authority. Buzzer. Victory. Teammates lifted him. Lucas kissed him on court, cameras flashing. "I love you," Lucas declared. Celebrations ensued, parades, awards. Dylan received MVP, dedicating it to bullied kids. Scholarships to UCLA, Lucas joined. Trent reformed, volunteering at shelters. Their love deepened. Dates in Millennium Park, plans for future. Elena beamed. "You changed the game." Years on, Dylan and Lucas, married, run a foundation for LGBTQ+ youth in sports. That dunk, a symbol of triumph over adversity, proving one act can spark change. In America's heartland, their story inspires, a testament to love's power and humanity's capacity for growth.